Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Rotor Talk Live, Season 6. Wow. Season 6, Episode 2, possible 2023 DJI releases. Hope everyone is doing well this evening. Let's look and see who's here. Quadcopters and Tech, Leonard Oglesby, Flying Plane Media, Akarasho, Michael Wright, Drone Views Media. Let's see who else we got. Billy Tompkins. Let's see who else we got here. Captain Ray is here. Scott Nadeau. See who else we got. John K is here. Andy Kurt is here. And One Vision Ariel is here. All right. How everybody is doing well this evening. We actually do have quite a bit to talk about tonight. Ron and Marcus are going to be joining me, and maybe at the bottom of the hour, we may get Johnny Alfonso to pop in as well, too. There's a lot going on right now. I know CES just finished up, and yeah, let's kind of say it like it is. Dubbo put out a good video about it. Ken always does that. He always goes the extra mile. But as far as drones were concerned, it was that was about it. Autel's big announcement. We're going to talk about that here in a little bit as well, too. But it was a real kind of a snoozer. And, there's not much to go out there for. If you're into other tech, then that's probably good. If you're going out there for drones, you probably were going to be disappointed if you went out there, just to be honest with you. So that's why it wasn't even on my radar screen. And, I guess DJI has now banned from CES because of human rights violations or some such thing. I read that on Drone XL. So Lord only knows what's going on with that. I don't have any explanation for what's going on there. So anyway, all right. First thing I wanted to talk about tonight, DJI did have a release, okay? Not a drone here, but we're gonna go over this here. Whenever DJI releases a product, I still like to go over this. And DJI RS3 Mini is a perfect travel gimbal for your mirrorless camera. Okay, they just came out with that. Let's take a look here. It has Bluetooth shutter control, third generation stability algorithm, a 1.4-inch color touchscreen, weighs less than 800 grams at 1.8 pounds, can carry a weight of up to 2 kilograms, excuse me, 4.4 pounds, and has a weight capacity of up to 2 kilograms, okay? There's a picture of it here. RS3 Mini uses a design that combines multiple functions into a single unit, making it space-saving and portable. Because it's so light, the RS3 is much easier to move around and can be used with just one hand to get great results, okay? And then you can take a look at some of the controls here. They're very similar to the ones that are already out there. And include some examples of cameras. And again, these articles are all posted in Bill Drone Reviewer Facebook group and page, so you can browse them at your leisure. I know not a lot of you are interested in gimbals, but it is a DJI product, and I did want to spend a couple of minutes going over that. So if you want to find out more information, click on that link. It's in Bill Drone Reviewer Facebook group and page. All right. Going to move on here. And one of the things that I wanted to talk about, I wanted to spend a few minutes about, are community-based organizations for recreational drone pilots, okay? One of my friends for pointing this out to me, and there's a video link that I dropped in the chat at the beginning, and it's from, Pilot Institute. That's it. Pilot Institute. Okay. Now, I kind of want to explain a little bit about this. And then what I do recommend that you do is that you watch this video, because he goes over in detail. There are 3 community-based organizations right now. So I'm going to go over what a community-based organization is, what all this is about, and everything here. So let's take a few minutes and go over this. Okay. One of the provisions under Section 44809 is for recreational drone pilots to operate according to the safety guidelines that have been developed by a community-based organization with the FAA. This underscores the role of CBOs and how relevant they are in terms of educating and enforcing safety restrictions on recreational drone flight, okay? And I kind of want to stop right here, because what I want to do is Okay, if you're a Part 107 pilot, you can ignore this. Okay, if you fly, let me say this. Let me back that up. Okay, if you choose to fly as a Part 107 pilot all the time, you can totally ignore this. Okay, but if you choose to fly as a recreational pilot part of the time, you need to pay attention to this. Okay, what are CBOs and why are they important? From the legal definition outlined in it's a membership-based organization, 501c3, exempt from tax under 501a, has a mission to demonstratively further model aviation, provides a comprehensive set of safety guidelines, emphasizes safe aeromodeling operations, may provide a comprehensive set of safety rules, provides programming and support for any local charter organizations, affiliates, or clubs, provides assistance and support in the development and operation of locally designated model aircraft flying sites. Okay. Now, at the time that this was put out, this was in 2021, they didn't have any. Okay. The FAA had not chosen any, but they have now. And I've also dropped a link in for this. And the link is everything in that video. And I'm going to drop a link up. And actually, the video is in the Build Drone Reviewer Facebook group and page. Okay. Now, there are 3 organizations: a Flight Test Community Association, FPV Freedom Coalition, and the AMA. Okay. Now, they do talk about, this is just a real kind of high level guidelines right here: flying over near people and objects, visual line of sight, and night operations. Okay. And each of these organizations have some different rules right here. But again, these organizations have been approved by the FAA. So, it's up to you which one you want to choose. And one of the things that the FAA said, and from watching that video, and again, I strongly emphasize that you guys watch this video, is that you do not have to be a member of these organizations. You do not have to be. I'm a member of AMA. I've been a member of AMA for several years. Okay. Academy of Model Aeronautics. Okay. I'm not a member of the FPV Freedom Coalition or the Flight Test Community Association, but you're welcome to join if they have memberships. Okay. There's no requirement that you do this, but you're flying under these rules here. Okay. And this is just something, a great subscriber wanted me to make you guys aware of all of this, because a lot of you just fly purely as recreational pilots. You don't fly as Part 107. And in order to do that, you have to be part of one of these community associations. So I strongly recommend that you watch the video that I dropped in Build a Drone Reviewer Facebook group and page, and at the beginning of tonight's show. And, there are some links in that video for what you're seeing right here. And I highly recommend that you download them, that you check these organizations out, and you find which community association is going to fit well within where you feel comfortable. Okay. They're, like I said, they all have different rules, but all of these are approved by the FAA. So, again, watch that video. I can't emphasize that enough. And definitely take a look at all this material. So I just wanted to go over this, and I hope you guys I didn't blow you away with all this. I just wanted to make you guys aware of this. Okay. Right. You do not need to be part of one of these organizations. I 100%. You don't need that. Okay. So, okay. All right. And Dr. Ted is in the house. Welcome, Dr. Ted. Mark White is here. Let's see who else. Ariel Sean is here. Art is here. Welcome, Art. Glad to see you. Okay. All right. Well, one of the things, DJI has been kind of busy here. And beyond that, there was something that they kind of snuck in around the end of December that not a lot of people knew about. And I was kind of surprised myself. Okay. DJI had a great success with their DJI microphone system, their wireless system here. Well, lo and behold, they've come up with a less expensive solution. Same thing, only one transmitter. Okay. See, that's one transmitter right here. And this is the module that stays on you. And it has some features that are not on the DJI mic that's previously come out. Plus, this is only, from taking a look out on B&H's website, only $219. So it's a very affordable option. And it's something, if you're looking for a solution for audio recording, this is an excellent solution. And let's add Marcus to the mix. Hey, Marcus.
Mr. Bill.
So did you know about this DJI mic? Because they kind of snuck this in at the end of December.
Here's the deal. If you the DJI mic is amazing, and it has absolutely revolutionized my workflow, cured all of my audio problems that I ever had in any video. It is amazing, an amazing piece of tech. This particular iteration with just the transmitter and the receiver for $219. Okay, if you're a real cheapskate, but spend $329 and get the whole deal. That way you get the charge case, you get an extra transmitter. And let me tell you, that extra transmitter is handy if you're working with somebody else. You can mic them up. You can set it up whether it's mono, where it will just give you one stream of audio, or you can set it up stereo so that their audio is on one track and your audio is on the other. It is a fantastic little piece of technology. The other significant thing about this product, Bill, is, and I know you'll appreciate this, you can record directly to the transmitter. So you can feel confident walking away from the receiver and know that you're not going to lose any audio. So if I'm going to do a video where I'm going to walk away from the camera and the receiver, it has really good range, wireless range. However, if you turn your back to it, or if there's something blocking you and the receiver, you can lose that transmission. But you just simply press a button on that transmitter, on the transmitter, and it records everything in the same quality. And so then in post-processing, you just synchronize it up and you're good to go.
Now, I got a question for you on this. This is something that's really kind of been bugging me. I watched Billy's review of it, when it first came out. And he suggests getting like a cheap lavalier mic, plugging it in, holding it on your belt, and putting it up here, because he did several tests, and it sounded much better than just clipping it like onto your shirt lapel, using like a lavalier mic, just a $20 one with a 3.5-inch jack, and plug it in there. How do you do that?
Yeah, so to your point, what I've discovered over a period of times is there were times I'd get the audio and I thought, well, God, the volume is kind of low. Well, that's if I had it pointed down or something. If you place it where it's pointed a little bit up like that, you get really good audio. Now, I've never tried a lavalier mic. I get what he's saying. That kind of makes sense. I don't know. For expediency, to me, just clipping that thing on my shirt has worked really well. And like when I wear a T-shirt like this, it's really cool. I wish I had it with me. It's down in my car. I'd show you. But it's got a magnet on the back, so I can place it anywhere on my shirt that I want.
So it'll stick and it won't go anywhere. Okay.
Right.
All right. That's good. I did not know that.
And it's a strong magnet too. Trust me.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah. And because I'll say this: DJI is trying to get more people interested in it, and I think, and I get what they're doing with this, and at the price point, and that's good. But you bring up an even better. I'm trying to look for a word. You even bring it up a better point by, if you're going to spend that kind of money, spend another $100 and you're going to get the case, the charger, the extra transmitter. It's a steal for that kind of price. Really.
Yeah. If this kit was $150 or something, maybe I could see some value in it if that's all you thought you'd ever need. But here's one of the big advantages of the full kit is that you never worry about charging the receiver or the transmitter, because they charge while they're in that case.
While they're in the case.
And I end up charging that case up about once a month or so. Other than that, you just never even worry about it. And by the way, the case has lights on the front, and that's how you know you need to recharge it. If you put the stuff back in the case, you close it. If there's only one or two lights lit on the case, okay, I better throw it on the charger. And it will give you, as soon as you open it up, if you look at the transmitter, it will give you the charge status of both the receiver will give you the charge status of both transmitters and the receiver.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, it sounds like something I'm gonna seriously look into for my workflow when the what becomes available thing here. So I led the show off and one of the things, CES now, it used to be something you really wanted to get out there and talk to the drone manufacturers, okay? And I know Ken did a great video, Tobo. And I know you guys had on Bob last night, and that was great that he got to talk to Max from Autel. But if you were going just for drones, you would have been sorely disappointed. Because really, all there was Autel out there.
Yeah, Autel was
not out there, and so yeah, COVID notwithstanding, I mean, it just unless you're a real tech head, okay, then yeah, go ahead and go and enjoy it because it's just more than drones. But if you're going purely for drones, probably not a good choice. That's just my personal opinion. I mean,
hey, you know what though? You're absolutely right. But what I'm going to say is kudos to Autel. They went and they were full in on CES this year. They had all their products there. They had their whole staff there. I thought it was great that they got to get. They didn't have to share the limelight with anybody.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And we're going to go over. I wanted to spend a few minutes and go over the Evo Max 4T. Brr, 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 brr. Okay. Yeah. There we go here. It was like you said. It was a chance for them to have the spotlight, and they took full advantage of this. The camera 640 by 512 thermal, half-inch 50 megapixel wide camera, and a 1/1.68-inch 48 megapixel zoom camera. It looks to be a close competitor to the DJI's M30T. Evo Max also supports an IP43 rating, allowing to fly in light rain and snow. For cold, the battery compartment is heated, not to forget hot swappable. The 8070 milliamp hour battery will give you 42 minutes of flight time in ideal conditions. The most remarkable feature Autel put on Evo Max is a new way to detect objects. Emitted from the drone is a millimeter wave radar that can detect objects around it, giving it an absolute 360-degree zone of detection. Paired with traditional sensors, Autel states the Evo Max can see objects as small as half an inch, even in low light or rain.
Hey, I'm telling you, Bill, that I think is the biggest tech feature that this thing brought to the table, that millimeter wave radar. I want to know, are we going to start seeing that on consumer grade drones after a while?
I would. Yeah. That's 100%, Marcus. I was going to say the same thing. Are we going to see this move forward? And I would have to say yes, because right now, I put an inquiry in because they haven't given an official price, but from what I hear from several sources, we're hearing between $8,000 to $9,000 is what I
believe. It was either Dobo or Billy. I can't remember which one of them said 8,990.
Okay,
so right about $9,000.
Right about $9,000. Okay, and this is going to be now. And here's another thing that I wanted to say about this, because I know when DJI first came out with the Mavic 2 Enterprise, I got so many emails from people. Bill, how can I buy one? Bill, how can I buy one? And I'm telling people, I said, number one, you have to be an enterprise customer. I'm a customer. No, you're not an enterprise level customer. Hey, Ron.
Hello, gentlemen. How are you tonight?
Good.
Ron Brown? The Ron Brown?
Ron Brown.
And his voice has returned.
And his voice has returned. How about that?
Yeah.
Amazing.
So, gentlemen, what are we talking about tonight?
We're talking about the Evo Max here, and of course we're on pricing right now. And I was telling Marcus, when the Mavic 2 Enterprise came out, I was getting so many emails from people. How can I buy it, Bill? How can I buy it? And I'm like, it's for enterprise level customers. Well, I'm a customer. No, you don't understand. This is only going to be sold to organizations. Okay, at the time, that's what DJI was stating. Okay, and I was telling them that, and And well, I have the money, and I said, I understand you got the money, but these are specifically made for first responder type organizations. And the same thing here with this, okay? Either first responders or businesses, okay? This isn't going to be sold, yeah, I got my checkbook, I can go ahead and buy one. I'm like, not so fast here, okay? Because they want these to get into the hands of first responders and businesses, because this is what this has been designed for, okay? I mean, Ron, I don't know about you or Marcus, I don't have 89, 90 hanging around in any of my accounts right there that I could just whip out right now.
Yeah. And back to your point, Bill, that would be like a new fire truck coming out and you and I wanting to go buy one just to ride around the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the point of it is, I'll just continue with Ron's analogy of a fire truck. Hey, none of us want to drive a fire truck around our neighborhood. It's big. It's it's not going to fit in the garage, etc. And same thing with this. I mean, okay, there's some neat technology on it. However, the camera on your Mavic 3 or your Autel Evo Lite Plus is probably better than the video that you're going to get off of this.
For taking a cinematic type video,
video like we do. So it really isn't for us. That said, the technology is intriguing and we enjoy it.
And we talked about this a little bit last night. Why we're interested in a drone like this is not to get it, but the things we like about this drone should eventually trickle down from the enterprise models to the consumer models in 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. I mean, it's a guess, but all this stuff will trickle down. Like some of the things in it, like the hot swappable battery. Maybe in years that'll switch down to where you can hot swap a single battery drone. Maybe some of that that radar stuff, the obstacle avoidance.
We just were talking about that.
Ron, so when that trickles down, I want to go on. But that's why we have interest in a drone like this, because that stuff will show up to some degree in consumer drones down the line.
Hey, the other thing, Ron, I'm sorry, Bill, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
Well, the other thing, Ron, you mentioned the battery and the radar, which I think are both really great, cool things. But the other thing that kind of intrigued me was that 360-degree obstacle avoidance camera, the kind of the fisheye camera on the top and the bottom.
Remember 720.
720 is what they said.
That was their tagline. 720.
Yeah, and I think what they mean by that is 360 this way and 360 this way.
Yeah,
I think that's why they're saying 720.
Yeah,
but just like you see on 360 cameras, it's the same thing on that drone. It's got a 360 camera built into it. Essentially, is that better for obstacle avoidance? I don't know. But
we'll find out in a month or a few weeks or a month when it gets in the hands of the testers.
It sounds intriguing, though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Now I'm going to throw out something else here too. Okay, when was it? I'm trying to remember. I think when the first Evo was scheduled to come out. Okay, they had a big production at CES. You guys remember? Guys are with me on this, right? Mm-hmm. They made a big deal about it. Okay, it's coming out. Okay. It didn't come out until like July that year. Okay. So I know Ken went to a trade show here. I think it was in Orlando. I was going to go with him, but couldn't get time off from work to do that. But, there was delay after delay after delay after delay. And it finally comes out.
Yeah. But if I recollect, it was the summer that the Anafi and the Mavic 2 series came out. Mm-hmm. And actually it barely got, it really didn't get out before the Anafi did, because maybe a few testers had in their hands, but the general public, the Anafi almost arrived sooner. And welcome. Speaking of the Anafi and the V-Copter, here's Johnny V-Copter.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, hey, look, I got my Ron Brown glasses, my Idaho quadcopter, and I got my Bill, the drone viewer ink pen. So everybody's
he's all set.
Representative.
He's all set.
I'm listening. Who's buying a fire truck? Did I hear somebody say something?
Well, one thing I want to know.
I gotta get the fire truck to carry my Autel Evo Max on.
Little known fact: Johnny used to be a fireman.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's true. Yeah. That's true. Very true. So
now, I like driving a fire truck.
Johnny, did you put him out, or did you start him?
Put him.
Or Ron, no,
Ron, there's insurance agents in here. How y'all doing tonight? I was catching it, listening in, driving in. Hey,
we're doing good. We're talking about Autel's new drone that they're coming out, and how we're looking forward to seeing the technology, because the price of that is out of reach of I would say 4 out of 4 of us here. So we're looking forward to seeing that. I'm anxious, and like Ron said, to see some of these videos when it gets into the hands of the testers, to see the capabilities of this. And I think the thing that I'm the most interested in from reading everything about it is this obstacle avoidance. It's supposed to be kind of a landmark kind of technology. I think it's going to be fantastic. And that's the thing I'm most looking forward to seeing. I mean, the other stuff, the camera and everything, I think they'll be good. But, for me, I want to see this. I really want to see. And also, too, it said, it does have a heated battery compartment, and that's crucial, especially up north at this time of year. So.
Yeah, and I think Ron hit on it. I think and Marcus and I talked on the phone a little bit earlier. I think the biggest thing is some of that would trickle down, as Ron say, to that consumer type drone. What features and what would it cost, and where would it leave us more consumer drones? I mean, that drone is fun to look at and read all those features, but like you said, it's not really for us.
And John, we had a conversation before when one of the DJI enterprise drones came. You had a conversation with your local police officer, police chief, about maybe getting a an enterprise level drone in service there. That something for a small police force, they could use a affordable enterprise level drone.
Yeah, and they do have one ordered. I really don't know what it is. But he did just text me one night, or we were talking about it. But they do have 1 or 2 ordered that I know of, so I really don't know. But they do actually have a young man that is certified in Part 107. So I'm kind of interested to see what they do get.
Good.
That'll be real interesting. And just as a side note for everybody, I think I told you my son-in-law got a new job. Okay. And guess what the drone is that they have at the job site for him to use? Okay. It's a Phantom 4 Pro RTK. All right.
Oh, nice.
And he's having a little bit of a challenge right now finding, the software to work with it, because, it's just, he's coming in after the fact and trying to get it up to speed. So, he's really, and he's taking a deep dive into it like he always does. So, and it's a small office. There's 6 to 7 people, total of 50 in the company. The company basically does designs, architectural designs for underground utilities. And they do very well. And he really likes it. So he's the second week. So, and we're hoping to get him on the show, because I know this is going to be good. Now, one of the things I wanted to do before we get to our main subject of the night is, okay, I didn't have a banner for this. Okay. We're going to talk about it anyway. All right. I'm hearing some rumblings from Fimi. Okay. And I'm hearing that in September of this year, we're going to see a replacement for the infamous Fimi X8 SE.
Timing would be about right.
Bill, have you seen the supposed leaked photos of this replacement?
Yeah, I saw the leaked photos of that FPV concept that they have.
Yeah.
And Marcus and I kind of talked about this last week, and it was like, it's a bad Photoshop. It's just a bad Photoshop.
Somebody's fantasy.
Man, it's just bad. I mean, I don't know how much worse I can say. Somebody just doesn't know. Wow, it's just bad.
Yeah. Hey, but back to your point, though, I think all of us have been saying for a couple of years now that Fimi needs a complete redesign of their flagship
Absolutely.
drone, because it's too much. First of all, you don't carry design that long, and second of all, the current design draws a lot of bad memories of people having that crooked horizon on the earlier models.
Exactly.
What's interesting though, and Bill knows this, is they pretty much cured that on the 2022 version. I want to defend them a little bit.
Yeah.
I think that 2022 version it's just a great value for what you get. It really is a full feature drone. It doesn't have obstacle avoidance, but other than that, it's got all the tracking and all the other stuff. Now, where people like the 4 of us are going to be let down is the camera. It's okay. It's okay. It's not horrible, but it is. I mean, heck, your Mini 2 has a way better camera on it than that Fimi drone. It just looks better. It's not so, it's all just what your expectation may be. Now, what I think I recognize is there's some people that they don't really care if they have top quality video. They want video, but it doesn't have to be, super high end. In that case, it's probably okay. What I'll say is when they come out with this new drone, they need to focus on improving the camera if they're going to get people like the four of us interested in their product.
Mm-hmm. I agree. My son-in-law said, and he brought up a really good point, is he's been using it to do a lot of photogrammetry. And he did that of his parents' property, and he ran it through a program and stitched it all together. It took about 3 hours, he said, but it's amazing what it did. And he did the flight plan himself and used Waypoints, and it came out fantastic. And he said, Bill, he said, for what you pay, 500-ish, 550-ish for this, and for what you're getting a really good value for that.
His father-in-law gave him that drone, didn't he?
No, his father-in-law. I sold him the TX10, the controller.
I got you. I got to mess with you, Bill.
Hey, so are you guys familiar with Alex Marks over in Greece?
Yes.
Yeah. He exclusively flies that Fimi. I can't remember if his is 2020 or 2022.
I think he had the original one.
It could be, but I'll tell you, if you go look at his videos sometime, he puts out some really nice product with that.
Brian Singleton used to always joke he got the only one that ever worked right.
Yeah, that's probably true. But
Marcus, I have to stop you for a second though. Guess what? He just posted yesterday Evo 2 Pro video. Apparently he's got the Evo 2 Pro now.
Oh, really?
That's interesting.
He just posted a short flight yesterday with his Evo 2 Pro.
I'll be darned. He had been talking to me about he was really interested in the Air 2S. I figured that's what he'd end up with. Well, good for him. The Evo 2 Pro, he'll do some fantastic work with that drone.
And I don't know what series it is, whether it's the new V3, I do not know. So
yeah,
but Marcus, I didn't mean to imply anything about the Fimi, this one. I mean, it's a shame it has a bad connotation, but so many people look at the Fimi, the current model, and because it looks the same, unfairly people in their mind associate it with the Crooked Horizon.
Fairly or unfairly, I totally agree with you, Ron. That's a great point.
That is
every time we discuss the Fimi X8 in Drone Nation, the conversation, the chat always rolls back to the Crooked Horizon issue, even if you're explaining the current model doesn't have it.
Yeah. Hey, Richard is bringing up a good point in the chat too, and in fact, I did a video with the 2020 version. I think last year or the year before. It is weather resistant, and I flew it out in a snowstorm one day, and it was fine. And this new one, the 2022 version, is supposed to be it's supposed to handle moderate rain. The other one was light rain. The 2022 version, they say moderate rain. So I don't know. I have to try it out sometime.
What did we read last night? The Altel Max has IP43 weather rating, or
yeah, I don't understand those IPX ratings. I don't know if you guys do.
We don't know what it is on the Fimi. But again, I mean, if you're doing search and rescue, of course, you have to be out there in all weather because people get lost and stuff in bad weather too. But if you're a photographer, you don't want to come back with a video having a bunch of rain spots all over the front of the lens all foggy. So yeah.
Well, that was the whole problem with the with that Power Vision egg drone that you could put the all-weather kit on it. As soon as it got covered in water droplets, you couldn't see anything anyway.
Yeah, they didn't put the little windshield wipers on the front of the camera.
Yeah.
Well, our friend Deals Drone put out a guesswork for 2023.
I've seen that little schedule.
Yeah, we're going to spend a few minutes on this right here.
Remember, our friend Acilev did it for 2022, and he got more right than he got wrong.
He sure did. Now, according to this, okay, we already saw the DJI RS3 Mini.
And he already got the first one right.
And then for February, DJI goggles SE, DJI RC Motion.
And we already know they got their FCC approvals already, Bill.
Approval for those, yeah. Now DJI Inspire 3 plus Z9, that is in for March. For April, the DJI Pocket 3. For May, DJI Air 3.
Wow.
For June, looks like a Matrice 350T and a DJI Dock SE. And I imagine that would probably be for the Matrice. That's just a guess. And then July, DJI Mavic 3S.
Wow.
And then in October, a DJI OM7. That's pretty ambitious, even for DJI guys.
Well, I mean, last year was a big year for release of products. You know, I mean, maybe not necessarily drones, but overall they released
Total product,
drones,
yeah.
plus other products too. It was a big year for them.
Well,
Between
if you look
enterprise
here,
and FPV.
1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of these, or 5 of these, are not drones.
Yeah.
On here. So you know, it's just, you know, you're looking at now. What didn't surprise me was seeing a DJI Air 3 here. Okay.
I think that's the one thing unless most of our viewers are looking forward to.
Yeah. The DJI Inspire 3 again, you know, that's you know, we're not even prosumer here. That is professional, and it's going to have a professional price on it too.
Yes.
You know,
and rumors are it's going to be full frame.
Well, yeah, if it's full frame, you're probably looking at 20,000. I mean, I'll just come right out and say that's just a guesstimate on my part, but still,
we'll need to pool our money together for that one.
Now, DJI Mavic 3S, okay, that really intrigued me when I saw that, because I'm like, okay, what can they add to the Mavic 3? Okay, they have the Classic, they have the regular Mavic 3, they have the Mavic 3 Enterprise Edition, the Mavic 3S. I mean, I'm at a loss on this, guys. I really am. I don't know what else they can add to it.
Well, I mean, when the Air 2S came out over the Air 2, it had a bigger camera sensor, but I don't know how they're going to top the 4/3 on the current Mavic 3 unless they go full frame or something.
You know, the only thing I could think of, something like maybe they're going to a hot swappable battery on that. That may be possible.
Like the Autel.
Like the Autel, that may be a possibility. But as far as the camera, and you made a good point, Ron, there's not enough, you know, if you keep the same airframe, there's not enough room, to put in a bigger camera. There really isn't.
I mean, what they could do, they could just tune the current camera up with maybe some better frame rates, maybe even more resolution. Maybe they can, I'm spitballing here, 8K it or whatever, or, you know, up the resolution, up the frame rates at different, areas.
Different. Somebody's saying different transmission, maybe, you know.
OM5, 05 or 04 or
04, yeah.
I've got one for you.
Okay.
So we're continually seeing autonomy getting improved and obstacle avoidance get approved, and the Mavic 3 is so close to the Skydio and its obstacle avoidance ability. What if they take another leap in that and improve that again to where it's has more autonomous capabilities?
Yeah.
That's and
or Bill, maybe even do some improvements to the zoom lens.
That's true. You know, and also while we're at it on third iterations of drones, the Air 3, let's see, how can you improve upon the Air 2S? Okay. And you're probably going to have, I mean, and of course we're just spitballing. This is just pure speculation on our part, but you're probably going to have a little bit of a bigger airframe, I would think, in order to handle a bigger camera on that.
Here's a problem with that. So Johnny and I had that discussion this very afternoon.
Okay.
One of the big advantages to me of the Air 2S, when I'm traveling, it's how compact it is. It's that small little compact case. It's nearly as powerful as your Mavic 3. So I'll take that over a mini drone any day of the week because of the power and the better video quality, the better obstacle avoidance, everything it brings to the table. So to your point, and Ron and I have discussed this. Maybe I'll let Ron make the point, but I think we're talking about the battery, right, Ron?
Yeah, and I'm gonna just pick up right where you left off the thing. If you make the Air 2, 3, if the Air 3 as big as the say the Autel Lite Plus, then it's not much smaller than the Mavic 3, Bill.
Mavic 3, yeah.
You might as well get the Mavic 3 if size is concerned. But what Marcus is going on, the big miss on the Air 2S now, Bill, is the battery life.
This is the Lite Plus case. I mean, this is big. Let me get the Air 2S case, and we'll put them side.
You can probably put the Mavic 3 in that case.
Yeah, easy.
Yeah. I mean, the problem with the Air 2S, it has much shorter battery life than either the Mini 3 Pro or either the Mavic 3 or Mavic 3 Classic. So that battery life is just not up to 2022/223 standards at this point, Bill.
Well, Brad brings it up right here. 04 transmission, longer battery than Mavic 3 due to lightweight, 24 megapixel 1-inch camera. Those are sound like some good specs.
Yeah.
And I think, the big thing on this, and you guys have talked about it, is battery life. And you just mentioned this, okay? Because, everything else, like even the Mini 3, the battery on the Mini 3 is better than on the Air 2S.
Yeah. It's better than anything. It's better than Mavic 3.
Yeah.
Extended battery.
So Johnny and I were talking about this just a little while ago too. Like when I'm traveling, so you get about 18 to 20 minutes out of a battery out of the Air 2S. Typically when I'm traveling someplace, I'm getting a quick video here. You know what? That's plenty of time in the air for me. And I've got 3 batteries. So that with the Air 2S isn't such a big deal to me. Although it's a great point. It is to a lot of people.
Richard putting out in the chat, a variable aperture can be something they could do without increasing the size of the drone.
Yeah, that's one of the most I think people would appreciate.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you this because I was like over the holidays with the prices dropping down on the Air 2S. I was like, thinking about pulling that trigger again because I had it before, and I'm like, because what I'm doing is I'm looking for a drone that I could use on my ham radio channel, okay? And not just for photography, videography, but one that can fit a release mechanism. And I know the Air 2S can do that and do it well. And I've seen it demonstrated, and I've talked to other ham guys that have done this, and they say, yes, that is a great drone to do something like that. And basically what you're doing is you're dropping the antenna in a tree with a carabiner on the other end, pull it down, and you have your antennas all set to go. With a drop and release mechanism. But, with rumblings of an Air 3, I'm just going to kind of like take it back.
Yeah. Of course, Bill, you know what that means, though. You get the Air 3, then it'll be another 6 months to a year before they get the release mechanism out for the newer model.
Yeah. So, I'm like,
here's what you do if you're Johnny. You'll buy the Air 2S, Bill, and 2 weeks later they'll release the Air 3.
Yeah.
I think Ron Brown made commission off of me on that one. I think he said, buy that Air 2, buy that Air. And then like a week later, but no, hey, but you know what? What I think when they released that Air 2S available for the RC, it made you like you had a new drone because a lot of us had the Mini 3 Pro. We were flying it, and then when you got to fly that Air 2S with that RC controller, man, it's like you got a new drone. So it gave the Air 2S a lot of life. So it's a great drone.
Try flying it with the RC Pro, Mr. Johnny.
Well, hey, Marcus, I'm gonna send you my address and send me that RC Pro to test.
With that, well, with the Air 2S, it's still, if I could get a good deal on it, I might just do that.
Yeah.
Because again, for the purpose, obviously, I still want to take video with it. I still want to shoot pictures with it and everything, but the main purpose is to be able to use it for the ham radio channel, plus, compatibility with the RC Pro as well, too. I mean, I can't lose, okay, as far as that's concerned.
Yeah.
That camera on that thing is just phenomenal. I mean, we're Johnny and I were talking about this a little bit earlier, too. It's just incremental differences in these cameras now. The Mavic 3, it's top of the heap. But, the average person, are they going to be able to see the difference between the Air 2S and the Mavic 3? Maybe you're going to have to look awful close, though.
Yeah, I mean, the Hasselblad color science on the Mavic 3 is definitely a nicer look to it or whatever. But as far as seeing more resolution or detail, it would be hard to pick that out unless you're watching on your 80-inch TV screen.
That Light Plus, that Autel Light Plus, and Johnny will this. I mean, if I was putting that side by side with the Mavic 3, I don't know if I could tell the difference. It looks really good.
Now, Brad just put up here a Mini 4 release in November. Interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably, there of all those drones on the sheet there, if a Mini 4 was on there, it may probably be their biggest seller in units or whatever, of course.
Oh, absolutely.
If you're talking about mini drones, here's the thing that I think DJI needs to stay on top of and not neglect.
I know where you're going.
Yeah, Ron knows exactly where I'm going, and that is a replacement for the Mini SE. It just brings so many people into the hobby, and it's something that I'm so happy to recommend to somebody that doesn't want to spend a lot of money, because they're going to have a good experience with it.
Right. I agree. They've kind of took control of that low end of the market, that $299 price point, and it'd be a shame to have them recede that back to the quasi toy drone makers again.
So this guy, he's been posting this a few times. So yeah, you do, even if you're a recreational drone pilot, you do have to comply with remote ID. My recommendation is go to the FAA's website, the drone zone on the FAA's website. You'll need to take a trust test. I recommend that you put, if you have a bigger than sub 250 drone, you've got to put a sticker on it. So you got to pay your $5 to the FFA or FAA. And they'll give you a number, and you got to put that sticker on all your drones. So yes, recreational pilots have to comply with all the rules that we do as commercial pilots.
Yeah, that $5 will cover all your drones, but if you're 107, you got to spend $5 per drone.
Right.
To do
Right.
that.
And remote ID covers everybody, commercial, recreational, everybody.
Nobody gets, everybody's got to pay taxes.
And the FFA will take your donation probably.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Getting back to this idea of like a Mini 4 SE or, Mini 3 SE or something like that, that is really good because, when you have a price leader like that, okay, that's going to pop right out. It's going to grab people's attention right away. And people say, I heard that Mini 3, and Mini 3 is a really good drone. Even though it's a watered down version, doesn't have, say, obstacle avoidance or the runtime, okay, it's probably going to have a decent camera with it. And, they may bundle it. You may be able to get a deal with it with a DJI, with, just a standard RC, at a good deal, like maybe $399, $499, that kind of thing. And I think that thing would fly off the shelves, literally.
Bill, to your point, I think it needs to be right around that $350, $400 price point. If it's any more than that, that's, then people will still gravitate to the toy drones.
Yeah, $499 is way too high, Bill. You could right now you could go on Amazon and get a refurb Mini 3 standard for $499. I mean, I'm talking the complete kit, the drone, battery controller. So we're talking the keep people from buying those toy drones that basically their type of drone that you may never fly a drone again when you get them. You need to be somewhere around that $300 ballpark. I mean, I know there's inflation. Maybe it's $350 is the goalpost now, but it can't be $499 or $450.
Right. You can't go over $400. You have to be under that number, because you brought up a good point, Ron. There's so many of those, toy drones that are out there on Amazon. It's just, my timeline gets clogged with all that all the time.
And if you stop and look at the features, if you just read the feature list, they sound like they're better drones than the DJI mini series or whatever. If you go down that spec sheet.
They fly 10 miles and 10 miles and fly 60 minutes. Yeah, they sound really interesting on Facebook.
It's got 8K video and takes super duper high res photos, and you think you're getting a cinema camera. When you pay.
Sounds like an exo drone kind of.
Hey, before we lose it here, we need to thank Bob Casey for helping out Tar Heel Aerials there. He got him straightened out on remote ID. Evidently, Tar Heel Aerials has an Air 2S, and Bob let him know that does have remote ID built into it, which it does.
Yeah, you don't have to do anything. Yeah,
You don't have to buy the module. Okay.
Yeah.
It's already there. This is a really good discussion to have. And, I'd like to revisit this near the end of the year. I'm going to save this list to see if Deal's drone was right. When we hit November, December this year, how accurate this was and where he's at and what he missed. I'll say this, okay? What I will say probably with about maybe 75% accuracy, the non-drone products, I think you'll probably see those this year. Okay. Everything
he already got the first one right, of course.
Yeah.
Got the first one right.
But we all knew that because DJI released a teaser last week, so don't give him too much credit on that one.
We know the Pocket 3 is going to come sometime. We know there'll be an OM7. I mean, that's a given.
They're like clockwork.
And, the DJI goggles SE and the RC Motion, that's already on the FCC database.
Yeah.
That's already there.
It's coming. It's just a matter of when.
Yeah. It's just a matter of when. Now,
hey Bill, before we got to go here, let me ask you this question. Of everything on his list, though, what product on that list excites you the most?
Let me bring that back up here.
Or I asked the whole panel, but we'll let Bill go first. What on that list excites you the most?
What excites me the most is probably the Air 3.
Yeah.
Because I want to see how they're going to keep it. And I agree with you guys, keep the same airframe, maybe an inch or two, not much more than that.
It can have a different look to it. It just can't balloon in size.
Right. It can't balloon in size. I agree. I'm anxious to see how they're going to get, for instance, a better battery in there and a better camera in there and obstacle avoidance in there and their new an 04 in there. That excites me. That really excites me because I think that's kind of like, I'll say it's kind of like an in-between. It's in between the Mini and in between the Mavic 3. Okay. It's right there. And it's if it's under $1,000, it's a home run. Okay.
Oh boy.
And I think, and I'll come out and I'll say this, okay, just the base unit with like a standard remote, it has to be under $1,000, okay? Because if you go over 1,000, all right, well, it would probably have the DJI RC with it, okay, not the N1, R1, or whatever the standard controller is.
RCN1,
RCN1, yeah, whatever. So
all these acronyms, all these numbers, yeah.
Okay, so Marcus, what are your thoughts? Okay,
hey,
Ron started the ball rolling.
So pretty similar. I'm curious what a Mavic 3S is. It depends on the features, right? I'm worse than Johnny Drone Buyer when they come out with something new and exciting, and if there's a feature, there's always going to be a feature we didn't know we needed till DJI puts it on a drone, and we'll get all excited about it. So the fact remains, I'd probably end up buying both of those drones if they're, so that's kind of me. And my third place would be the Pocket 3, and Ron and I have talked about that. That's kind of a use case thing just for vlogging. So Ron Brown.
The Air 3, obviously. I mean, I'm fine with my Mavic 3. I don't need a slightly better Mavic 3, but the Air 3 really does, and the Pocket 2 somewhat. But again, we spoke about this. It had rumors of 1-inch sensor, but also rumors of it getting much bigger in size. I don't need a twice the size Pocket 3 with a 1-inch. If that's what it takes to get the 1-inch sensor in there. But I'm also interested to see what the goggles and the motion controller. There's rumors that maybe these devices will work with our camera drones. So that'll be interesting too. But it goes to it's definitely the Air 3. That drone's the Air 2S is 2 years. I'll be 2 years old at that point in May, and it's a lot of room to upgrade. So Johnny, what about you?
Well, I'm kind of like you, Ron. I would be interested maybe in those goggles just to see, how they would work. And then somebody wrote it in the chat, and I kind of agree. I think there might be some kind of different Avata type drone, another version of that coming out, But of those drones, the best thing on that list is the 4 months that they're not releasing a product. That's what I got to say.
You put your wallet away.
yeah. But no, and of course the Air 3 would be pretty interesting to see where that would fit in that lineup, and like what difference would it be? And because these they're getting so much, they're so close to each other now, so you got to pick and choose what's right for you.
Johnny brought up a good point. Those 4 months where there's no product's going to be released. That's going to be Valerie's going to be like, dodge.
Well, remember, Brad Henderson already put a Mini 4 in for November. So
for November.
Sorry, Johnny.
That's like every quarter you got to buy something, you know.
Want to welcome in the chat tonight, and I saw in there Bill Thomas was here. Welcome, Bill. And Original Dobos popped his head in. Ken, good seeing you tonight. Hope things are well with you. You had a good
Mr.
time.
Chris Hoop's out there too.
Good. Yeah, we have a lot. Lauren was here tonight.
Lauren's still here.
Yeah.
Lauren says these Spire 3s what excites him.
Yeah, and it excites me as well too, but except for the price.
Well, Lauren, pick 2 up, and I'll get the other one.
Yeah, well, that's because Lauren gets to fly it. You know, that's why he's excited. Yeah,
I'll tell you what. I'll get up there to Canada and I'll go fly it with Lauren. How about that?
Yeah, that's why he's excited. Yeah,
that'll definitely work. So, before a programming note, before we, go with our closing thoughts, for those of you who follow me on my ham radio channel. Tomorrow night, I have my very first, well, it's not really my first live stream because I've already done one, but it's my first regular show. And I have guests lined up for the next 4 or 5 weeks. So look forward to that. It'll be on at 7:00 Eastern on Ham Radio Basics. And I know several of you have followed me over there. Just want to let you guys know that. Really looking forward to seeing you guys there. We're going to have some great conversations and a lot of fun over there.
And what night is that, Bill?
That's on Wednesday at 7:00 Eastern.
Okay.
Also, want to make an announcement here. Okay. I had 1 pack of Bill the Drone Reviewer's swag that was not claimed. Okay.
Wow.
So here's what I'm going to do. The first person that emails me at billthedronereviewer@gmail.com that lives in the United States with your name and address, your contact information, I will mail it to you. So this is I'm not putting it up on the screen or graphics or anything. For the first person to email me at billthedronereviewer@gmail.com with your name and address here in the United States, I'll get it out to you. So
we just had Barrett Markowitz appear in the chat.
I'll look forward to your email. Okay.
Bill, an attorney would say he is emailing you in the United States. I'm just saying.
That's good. Marcus, closing thoughts here.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I went out today to fly the original Hubsan Zeno. I haven't flown that drone for 2 years.
You did your updates last night during the show.
I got it out, charged it up, batteries took a charge, everything looks like it's good to go. So, but I got out this afternoon and it started raining cats and dogs. So maybe tomorrow I'll get that out. And the other thing is the other drone that I want to get out and fly, I've charged up batteries on that I haven't flown in a long time, is the good old Parrot Anafi. I want to get that guy out and take it for a little flight. Just haven't flown it for a while.
Yeah.
Ron.
Retro droning.
Yep.
Yeah. I just want to thank everybody who joined us in the chat tonight. I see a lot of familiar faces and good friends out in the chat. Thanks for all your support tonight. And I know Bill probably mentioned at the beginning of the show, but DJI, of course, released the DJI RS3 Mini gimbal here for your mirrorless cameras. To get over there to DJI.com.
Buy one, Ron?
Well, I'm still on the fence here, and also Marcus, we talked. I know we're on slow time here. We talked about the DJI mic. They're being on buy a single mic. You go to the website and it says $219. Starting at $219. But when you click there, there's nothing in there except for the traditional one. Even though they kind of tease it. When you click that link and go in, you cannot find a single unit model yet.
Oh, I'll be darned. Good.
Even though there's a $219, starting at $219, which we heard was the price, but you cannot actually. I tried this several hours ago now. Maybe something's changed.
I'm going to try it right now, Ron.
You cannot find it. But anyhow, that's all I have for tonight. I'm going to throw it over to John Droneflyer.
I just want to thank Bill and for having me in. And yeah, great, man. A lot of great comments in the chat tonight, man. I had like 60-something people in here, and hey, I just want to say thank you for having me on. And hey, tune in to Fly for Fun show tomorrow night. We got Jerry Bauer and Lauren Donahoe.
Wow,
that'll be a good show. Hey, so update here, Ron. I just refreshed that mic page. They no longer have the option for the $219 package for just the single transmitter and single receiver. It is not in the store.
It's gone.
Really?
You think it's sold out, or this was?
I don't. Maybe that's what it did. It might have sold out.
Or the webmaster put it up too soon.
That could be.
Yeah.
That's
Maybe it's at Best Buy. They got it probably.
And funny, what's his name? Deals Drones did not include that on his list there, his roadmap.
Yeah,
that's true. Well, I already have somebody sent me an email. JSK Enterprise.
Leonard
out there in California.
Congratulations, Leonard. I will
yeah.
get that out to you in the mail in the next few days. So look forward to that.
Hey, one more quick thought before we sign off, Bill.
Sure
Mark White mentioned it here. Skydio just today introduced their new firmware update and app update to get panoramas and to also change the I'm trying to think of the name of their waypoints. Keyframes, right. Yeah. So they have keyframes now where you can actually tilt the camera so you can get some angles and stuff on your keyframe, and they just updated that.
I think Billy did a video.
Bill's got a video out already.
Oh, does he? I haven't seen it. I'll have to go look at it.
I didn't watch it, but I did see it pop up. So
yeah.
You know, one of the things I want to kind of close with is this. A couple of things. Support your local drone reviewer, and I'm not making a parody here of that support your local sheriff movie from the 60s.
Oh, that's my favorite, the old James Garner movie.
James Garner movie. I remember that
movie's so funny, Bill.
Absolutely hilarious. But seriously, view counts are down for just about everybody. You know, I know I've talked a little bit about with Marcus and Ron, and you know, one of the things is, you know, myself, you know, and I know Ron and Marcus, Johnny, and Ray and everybody, you know, we put effort into getting these videos out there for you guys. And, you know, the only thing we ask, watch it, comment on it, like it. Okay. That's the only thing we want from you guys. Okay. Because that helps each one of us out. And I know, you know, things have gotten to the point, you know, there's a lot more people out there doing drone reviews, which is great, but we still need you guys to watch our videos. We still need our core subscribers to come out there, like and comment on these videos, and it's for all of us. You know,
please come back from TikTok.
TikTok is you know, I just won't say anything about it because my mom said if you don't have anything good to say about it, don't say anything. So that's what I'm going to say here. But you know, all of us work hard for it, and you know, you guys in the chat who do the same thing. You know, you work hard at it. And the only thing I ask is to like, comment, you know, and if you haven't subscribed, subscribe so you can get these videos. Okay. All of us put in a great effort and you know, and one of the big things that I think a message that I'd like to get out to everybody is this, you know, is we do this out there to get information out to you guys. So either you can make an informed decision regarding purchasing it, or if you have a firmware update, or if you have a question. I can't tell you, and I know I probably speak for these guys as well, how many emails I get a week on questions, you know, regarding a Mavic 3, Air 2S, Mini 3 Pro, you know, even the Spark. I've got several questions about the Spark this week too. So, you know, that's behind the scenes, and then you guys see that. And I want to say thank you to those of you who do send those questions, and I want to say thank you to those of you who watch regularly and are subscribed and comment regularly. We really, each one of us here, really appreciate you guys. Also, it is 2023. April 1st is going to be here before you know it, okay? And we're going to be down in beautiful Jensen Beach for the South Florida Drone Meetup, folks, okay? I think Ray was on last week. I think he said about 75, 80 people, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think he's got 82, I believe.
82 now, okay? So, you know, it's a fun time. Guys, I can tell you this. It was was the best drone gathering I've ever been at. It was so much fun. We had just such a blast here. And you get to see Mark Fisher in 24-hour energy, okay? I mean, that's worth the price of admission by itself, okay? The man's nonstop. But seriously, a lot of fun. You know, let's, you know, try to get there if you can, okay? It'll be a lot of fun. So with everything that's being said, guys, thanks so much for watching. As always, it's a great day to fly. Take care, everybody. Have a great rest of your evening.
Good night.
Good night.